Although these types of movies have been around for quite some time, they have seen a surge in interest in the plot. It's not a question of the movie's overall quality, but rather the degree to which the plot revolves around the female being significantly more attractive than the male lead. And that's why in today's video, we take a look at some of the finest movies that feature hot girls in nerd movies. So which movies are we talking about? Well, let's get started. Number 10, Broadcast News 1987. Despite his unsightly looks and significant issue with excessive perspiration, Albert Brooks, an intelligent reporter who plays the lead actor, strongly desires to work in the television industry. On the other side, Holly Hunter, who is portrayed as his best friend, a successful female producer and a stunning woman, is secretly in love with the role that William Hurt plays, an anchorman who is shallow yet handsome. It's a one-of-a-kind movie because it goes deep into the psyche of the protagonist, Brooks, whose attractiveness is a big hindrance to his personal and professional life. This movie has a lot going on, and the producers aren't afraid to demonstrate how fragile the characters are, even though it's a drama. It's directed by James L. Brooks. Number 9, Lady and the Tramp 1955. Although the title does highlight the significant gap in social status that exists between the two main characters, this classic Disney animated movie is less about hot women and nerds than it is about prejudice based on social class. One of the actresses is the Cocker Spaniel known as Lady, a member of an affluent household, and enjoys first-rate veterinary treatment. One of the most interesting scenarios is when a lady was being assaulted by a bunch of street dogs when a scafflaw mongrel named Tramp came to rescue her. Luckily, the two become romantically involved with one another. Another interesting scene is when the two of them eat from opposite ends of a spaghetti noodle until they ultimately connect in the center of the noodle. Ah! Number 8, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982. One of the roles is acting as Stacey Hamilton. It's played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, a babe who disobeys all of the advice that her mother, Linda, played by Phoebe Cates, gives her. She assumes the advice and falls for the mousy little nerd at the mall movie theater. He's a young man who goes by the nickname Rat, Brian Backer. She still ends up growing closer to him in the end, even after Rat played Led Zeppelin for her in the car, an attempt to seduce her. This is after she had a brief encounter in the creep zone with the school's suave ticket broker, Mike Damon, at the pool house. After all, Damon was the one who came up with the idea for the whole event. Number 7, There's Something About Mary 1998. These movies, along with many others in the romantic comedy genre, all center on the idea that the protagonist ultimately gets what he or she wants in life. The movie There's Something About Mary achieved a sense of authenticity thanks to Jonathan Richman and his acoustic guitar. In this comedy, written and directed by the Farrelly brothers, 4 different guys, Ben Stiller, Matt Dillon, Chris Elliott, and Lee Evans, are all infatuated with the same woman, Mary. She's characterized as impossibly lovely, cool, and sports-loving, and it's revealed that she was formerly engaged to Brett Favre. She's the first example of the sort of immaculate dream lady that can be seen in numerous Budweiser ads and on series like The King of Queens and According to Jim. Nevertheless, she won't be the final example of this dream girl type. Luckily, Stiller, a nerdy guy who has had a thing for Mary since he was a pimple-faced high school student, becomes victorious in the scenario. Number 6, Say Anything 1989. Lloyd, played by John Cusack, isn't the nerdiest person in the world, but he likes to kickbox and wear a trench coat. He's a socially inept nerd. You can see this from the fact that a group of women who do not want to date Lloyd instead treat him like their younger brother. These women refer to him as their male friend. So when he announces his intention to run for valedictorian on the final day of his senior year of high school, no one gives him a chance, even though the girls secretly know how adorable he is. But although the movie initially follows the beautiful girl nerdy man formula, it eventually becomes something more about the secrets about Diane, a school-focused hot female. Her secrets are revealed to her at an inopportune time, and Lloyd ends up being there for her. Number 5, Can't Buy Me Love 1987. Amanda Peterson plays a popular cheerleader who decides to act as the girlfriend of a nerd, Patrick Dempsey, for a month. This is to borrow $1,000 to replace a dress that she mistakenly damaged for her mother. They both make a pact to keep the lie a secret. On the other side, Ronald believes that it will help him become famous. But what do you think happens when the nerdy guy lives with him for a month? he did an excellent job. Everyone picks up some vital lessons along the way, some of the most important of which is the significance of loyalty and the folly of relying on initial impressions. Cindy comes to the conclusion that she does not want to hang out with her cool friends and instead chooses to go around on Ronald's lawnmower. And by the way, the cover version of a Beatles song that served as the movie's title track also became a hit. It was a win-win situation. Number 4, Superbad 2007. The movie is acted by Jonah Hill and Michael Cera, who play the roles of Seth and Evan, two big guys who talk a good game but are hopeless with women. In the movie, written and directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the main characters spend most of their time trying to talk themselves into and out of potentially dangerous situations that involve obtaining alcohol for a party. This is done so that they can impress high school sweethearts who are way out of their league. At the end of the movie, they realize that all of their bravado was only a front for their irrational concerns, so they both wind up with attractive women. After a night of drinking, during which they say "I love you" to one another in a brotherly style with a hint of homoeroticism that is so common in buddy comedies, our two protagonists find themselves at the mall with the two attractive females they've been pursuing the entire time. During this time, our two protagonists realize that the two attractive females they've been pursuing have been paying attention to them. Number 3, Revenge of the Nerds 1984. If you've seen the amount of crap that the jocks of Alpha Beta heaped upon the nerds of Lambda, you might be able to forgive the horn-rimmed nerd stereotype Louis Skolnick, who disguised himself with a popular guy's costume in order to have sex with a popular guy's hot girlfriend under false pretenses. Betty was the victim, but the question is, was she willing? This movie features a vast cast that is comprised of both lovely ladies and awkward males. One of the nasty behaviors of the popular kids was when the nerds installed hidden cameras in the sorority and liquid heat in the jockstraps of the betas. Number 2, Weird Science 1985. The movie is acted by the uber nerds, that is Gary and Wyatt, who rescue Deb and Hilly from their abusive boyfriends Ian and Max, even though it takes a lot of teen sci-fi shenanigans to do it. But how exactly did they overcome the nervousness that prevents them from talking to and engaging with women? If Cameron Diaz's Mary was the perfect fantasy girl, then hot babe Kelly LeBrock's Lisa was a goddess. Her director gave her the body of a fashion model, the mind of Albert Einstein, and superpowers. It may appear to be very nefarious, but this is a John Hughes movie, so instead of hooking up with Lisa, she gives them the guts to behave like pimps and put Wyatt's over-aggressive military brother Chet in his place and stop a bunch of mutant bikers from destroying the party. Number 1, Knocked Up 2007. One of the actors is Seth Rogen. He plays the classic nerdy male schlub in Judd Apatow's unexpectedly emotional comedy movie about what happens to two people after one night of inadvisable drunken sex. Well, in the end, the two have a kid. Some of the other actors are Rogen, a dope smoker with his roommates who are attempting to build a nude celebrity website. They hook up with Catherine Hale, a gorgeous career-minded lady who's just been awarded a job as an on-air personality for E! Network. The plot itself is loaded with criticism of Hollywood's ideals of beauty, and the story unfolds as Ben comes of age and Alison tries desperately to bring love into the situation. It's commonly believed that Apatow's film was responsible for starting the current fashionable preoccupation with the nerdy guy hot girl movie, but the movie is much more than that. After the inevitable breakdown featured in many romantic comedies, Ben and Alison reconnect and give marriage another go. On the other hand, the subplot, which shows the married couple Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann, reveals that it's not all roses when you're making a life together. Well, they're all interesting movies that are worth a trial. And as we've seen, when it comes to matters of the heart, especially love, everyone enjoys it when the underdog emerges victorious. Anyway, which of these movies impressed you the most? Which among them will you be watching soon and why? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, go through the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.